Hey guys, welcome back to Adventure Camping. Tactical Nut here. And yes, I'm back out in the woods again, ready for another camping trip. Getting ready to go on a nice hike. Going to be using the OneTigris Hammock again. Just did the review on that, so please check it out. Definitely worth the money. I do have a new blade to test. This is the Kizlyar Supreme Pioneer that I just got the other day from CAS Iberia. Have not even cut the first thing with it except for shaving some hair, so that just tells you how sharp it is straight out of the box. Still working with the Mora Eldris. Loving this little guy. I tell you, for such a small blade, this thing is proving to be a big performer. But yeah, just getting ready to throw in the pack, getting ready to get some miles behind me, come back, eat, cut some firewood, and just relax in the great outdoors. So come along and hope you enjoy it. Alright guys, I've been hiking for about 45 minutes. Really enjoying this day. It's absolutely beautiful. Probably in about the mid-80s, so at times, depending on how much sunlight there is through here, it can get kind of hot, but it's not too bad. Definitely sweating a good bit, trying to keep a good pace today. And I do have to say, been wearing these Xero shoes now since pretty much close to the beginning of summer, just to kind of give you a look. You'll see, and I will have to say that the longer I wear these, the better they get. So just in case you decide to get some of these, I'm just going to have to tell you, the longer you wear them, the better they get. It's definitely something to know. When I first started wearing them, they felt good. It just felt like you were walking with a really flat shoe. But the longer I wear them, over time, I started feeling my feet doing more work. My toes gripping the ground more. My calf muscles started getting stronger. So I'm assuming also the feet and ankles. But, I mean, it just keeps getting better. So, I mean, I'm completely fascinated by the concept. I needed shoes for work. And unfortunately, Xero shoes, when I needed them, only had one color. That was yellow. Well, they're yellow and black, but they're mostly yellow. And so I bought a pair of Mora Vapors. I love Moras. You know I love Moras. I wear them all the time. It's what I've reviewed multiple pairs. And but it's the same concept, the barefoot concept. And so I wear them all the time. So it's like all the time being barefoot. Highly recommend it. You really got to try it. I mean, I know winter's coming up. I just saw the other day, Xero shoes is coming out with some boots. So maybe trying those out. Because of course during the winter, obviously it's a lot colder, potentially snowy or wet, depending on where you live. But your feet are going to want more protection around them, other than wearing sandals. So we'll see. I will definitely keep you posted if I decide to do that. Now, let's see the terrain you're walking over. You still got to do a little more selective of where you step than if you're wearing hiking boots. But kind of as a general rule, it's not bad. Definitely doesn't really hurt your feet to step on the rocks. You just notice them. But as you can see, oh yeah, and of course, I don't know why I don't do this all the time, but usually I always forget my headphones. Today I did not. And I tell you, you want to keep motivated, walking at a good pace through the woods, some Metallica to your brain. That keeps you moving. Alright guys, get back to you in a little bit. Alright, so I've been hiking for an hour and a half. Really just enjoying this beautiful day. I pretty much finished the Super Tree Trail. So now I'm just hiking back down this gravel road, because this leads straight back to the campground. Such an enjoyable day. And I know I just reviewed this shirt, but I can't tell you how comfortable this thing is. Lets just a perfect amount of air through to cool you down when there's a little bit of a breeze. Dries quickly when you're sweating. I'm doing quite a bit of that because portions of it walking in the sun, yeah, it gets kind of hot. Not unbearable though, but it's the start to notice it pretty quick. Definitely could be a difference in temperature than when you're in the shade. But just look at this gorgeous weather and the beautiful woods. Even though Uwharrie may not be the most beautiful place to hike and camp, it's still beautiful to me. We need to start getting out to the mountains where they have better views. Here, I mean, it's very hilly. I believe there's Uwharrie Mountain out here in the middle. Never been up it though. Maybe I should do that soon. But it's still always so enjoyable to be in the woods, spending time out in nature. And yes, now I'm listening to the Black Album by Metallica. I'll tell you one thing about listening to music that I realized earlier while you're walking in the woods. You do not hear and you're not annoyed by all the little gnats flying around your head. Because normally I'm out here and even when you put on bug spray, the gnats will still fly around you and stuff. And so you're swatting at them all the time. And it's really annoying. Throw some headphones in. You don't hear nothing. Kind of like that. Alright. Unless something really awesome happens, I will see you back at the campground. Alright, back in camp. Getting some calories in before I go chop some wood. Found a good sized dead oak. Maybe a half mile back that way. I mean, if you can see all around here, there's a lot of options in a way, but part of the problem is a lot of this dead wood that you see when I'm hiking, because there's a lot of down trees, but it's been laying on the ground for a long time, so a lot of it's rotted. So the longer or more times I camp in an area, the further and further I have to keep going to find decent firewood. So yeah, it looks like a lot of stuff back there that it should be easy to use. There's some stuff, I don't know if you could tell right behind me. Sometimes I get lucky and can find some still not dead or not rotten wood back there, but I've been, over the past, 6 months of coming out here, maybe that's the longest bit, I have to keep moving further out. No big deal. I could just start camping further up that way, and that way I wouldn't have to worry about it, but I really like this spot. And all my setups I already have for the trees in this area. There's a campsite right behind the camera, and then this one, and since I've camped at these two spots so much, I mean, it takes me seconds to set up, it seems like, so I don't know, I'm good with it. The cutting broom, hopefully you can see that. Cold Steel Warhawk, Silky Gomboy, of course the Wrapped On technical gloves. That's his gloves are amazing. Cold Steel Warhawk, chops like a beast. Silky Gomboy, flawless for a saw. I really need to go ahead and review those too, because I've used them quite a bit, and they're ready for it. But if you're lucky, as I'm processing firewood, I'm going to do it upside down fire again, but I might just do it a slightly different way. Might just give y'all a sneak peek at the first use of this and first impressions kind of thing. I don't know, we'll see. Just be really nice. Alright guys, I'll get back to you after I get a little bit more calories in me and get some firewood. Alright, so I just got done filming a little bit with this knife, doing the first impressions thing, and noticed that it wasn't recording. So I chopped off a piece of the wood. I'll do it again in just a second. Did some feather sticking with it. And of course, yeah, I wasn't. Wasn't filming. Alright, so to say this again, this is Sleipner steel, which is supposed to be like an improved D2. Slightly less corrosion resistant, but apparently better at edge retention. It's a full flat grind, which this is why you need to get to know your knives and different types of grinds, because full flat grinds are not great for splitting wood. They're great for many other things. They are incredible slicers, so carving, feather sticking, any kind of food prep, all that kind of stuff, perfect for those, but not great for splitting wood. But if you know what you're doing, you just cut off smaller pieces so that you don't have to worry about getting the knife stuck in the log. And I mean, it's all you're going to do when if you had a different grind, like a saber grind or something like that, you're going to split it in half and then keep splitting it anyway, so it's just a different way of completing the same task. And it helps to hit the end of the knife and not the log. So this kind of thing, it is going to be a little more work. It will get it done. If it's a little bit greener, this wood is really, really dry. So it's really hard. So that's going to affect it, but it is still going to get it done. So as you can see there, this is kind of what I was really going for anyway. I really wanted just a thin board to put on the fire, just so I could have something to sit my fine fire shavings on. And don't do this with a knife in your hand. So I can get that done. Love this sheath. It does have a dangler and just a regular belt loop, so you could use it either way. Hopefully you can tell that. The problem I've had with a lot of knives is I'm right-handed, but since I'm a concealed carrier, I always carry a gun on my right side. And so with every sheath that I have, none of them have a dangler. And I'm that type of person. I'm not going to go out and buy a sheath that fits the needs of me and a knife that I'm going to review just for that one knife or that one review, because I review a lot of knives. I'm not going to be spending a lot of money on getting custom stuff for everything that I buy to review. I test everything as it is right out of the box and how it comes. And so that's why I'm so happy with having one with a dangler, just because it really is going to make it to where I can access it on the hand that I need the most. And when wood is really dry, you got to go a little slower, because then you should start getting a lot of shaving, which is what I'm doing right now. Getting some curls. Just got to be a little patient. So, if you really wanted to keep going, taking your time, obviously it's going to do that pretty easily. This does have a 90-degree spine, so if you wanted to just get a bunch of shavings this way, like if you wanted, let's just say this was pine and you wanted some fat wood dust, I do this a lot, just because shaving with the back of my knife is saving the edge of my knife, and I don't have to keep doing a lot of feather sticks and or cutting a lot of shavings. The shavings are finer and easier to catch fire. So just a quick tip for you, in case you ever wonder why people do specific things that they do. Well, that's why I do mine. And so, well, this don't have any bark on the outside of it, but gives you lots of options, lots of stuff to work with. I'm thinking this is going to be a good knife, but a little bit later, after I eat and stuff like that, which I'm going to start cooking in a little bit, I'm going to start carving with this, and I've started using what they call the tri-stick method, which is my new testing protocol for my knives, because it has you carve a whole bunch of different types of notches and stuff like that, so you test all different parts of the blade. I really like that idea. Please let me know what you think. I'll put a link to it down below. my next couple of reviews, you'll see the sticks that I made, and we'll kind of go from there. All right, guys, I'm gonna kick back, relax. I did about a 7.5 mile hike, and of course had to cut a whole bunch of firewood, doing the upside down fire again. I just love it. If you haven't tried it, please try it. It's the most low maintenance fire you will ever make. It's good during the summer, and it'll definitely be even better during the winter, because what I'll do is I'll just cut bigger logs for it to burn down through. But then you can sit there and have a fire all night and not have to worry about constantly cutting wood all night and feeding the thing. All right, guys, be back in a little bit. Ladies and gentlemen, the water was just boiling. I'm going to have the beef stroganoff in the outhouse. Let me put it back up here, watch still. Get this done. But I just got a text from Baby Glock, of which there's no way I could not share this. But apparently Mrs. Technical Nut, as they were driving, just hit and killed, and yes, I'm going to say it this way, another bird. We had nicknamed her the Bird Assassin because up to this point there's been 4 or 5 birds that literally, as we're driving down the road, dive right in front of the car and she nails them. Woo! Watch your hands when the water hits that. So yes, this should make 6 birds for the Bird Assassin. Now, my question to y'all. Oops, I need a spoon. Hold on. Is I'm thinking she should get some kind of medal because that's quite an accomplishment. It's almost like a video game where, you know, you get extra damage points or hit points or something, kill points. So leave in the comments below, what should we get her in order to commemorate such an achievement, if you can put it that way. Just let us know. Tell us. I'm curious to hear. That's why I love Trangia stuff. Not only do they cook awesome, they hold fuel forever. Once you put it in there and you seal it up good because of the O-rings that are in it, it lasts a seriously long time. And then, of course, unlike the do-it-yourself, because I've made multiple of those, the do-it-yourself alcohol stove, you can't put them out unless you have a pot or something bigger to put over it, so you just got to let the fuel burn out. This, way more efficient in my opinion, and way easier to use, and of course you can always keep fuel in the stove, so even if you have it in a bug out bag or something like that, you can pretty much set it and forget it. I'm telling you, it's amazing. Alright, don't forget to leave a comment. We need a medal, or some kind of a idea for a certificate or something. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, getting ready to eat here. I am starving. I had to stop at Walmart and buy these plastic knife, fork, and spoon combination. Only 88 cents. Totally worth it. They're lightweight. They work. Not as small or as light as the ones I had by the Human Gear. But, hey, you get to eat with them. Also something, I haven't talked about these before, that I usually carry these. Little silicone cups. They actually have measuring marks on the inside, which actually come in extremely handy when making meals like this, because you can measure out the proper amount of water pretty easy. Because the GSI stainless steel cup that I have, I've been using this for at least 4 years. It doesn't have any marks in it, so you order to get specific measurements of the amount of water that you need. This helps huge, and not only that, I can't tell you the number of times I made coffee in this cup, and then you got to wait so long before you can drink it because the heat transfers to the cup, and then it burns your mouth to drink the coffee. So being able to make it in the stainless steel cup and then transfer it to this, and you can drink it right away, and they're only maybe $2 or something like that. I mean, they pack down super small, pretty lightweight, only a couple ounces. Yeah, definitely recommend them. I mean, the forks and stuff, I mean, they're great. I don't need a knife, fork, and spoon. I like the sport method, especially like the Human Gear, that I had one that, you know, folds over, makes it longer, so it's easier to eat these. but this is long enough for this. So yeah, just something to think about as far as what you're going to use to eat in the outdoors. Do have a question for everybody. I love listening to music while I'm out here. As you can see, I still have the headphones in right now. How about a good budget-friendly Bluetooth speaker that you could use in the outdoors, or that also has an auxiliary plug? Because I can always carry Baby Block's iPod. I have the classic. This is old. This is almost as old as Baby Glock. It's like 60 gigs. I mean, I've had it forever. I'm not a huge fan of iPhones. I like other Apple products, but I mean, the fact that this has lasted this long, I've got thousands of songs on it that I can't transfer to the computer anymore. Oh yeah, another use for this pocket on the shirt, media pocket. But what would be good Bluetooth speaker that I could carry out here, that I could also potentially plug an auxiliary cord into, so I could either play it off of this, or if I want to use my phone or Baby Glock's iPod, something like that. Just leave it in the comments down below. Any recommendations? Be cool to know. Hear what everybody else uses in the outdoors. Because music is nice. I love having it around. I've literally had the headphones in all day, and literally have enjoyed this experience so much more having it to a soundtrack. Got some Kid Rock flowing right now, and I mean, I'm a heavy metal kind of guy, so especially 80s and 90s, just crush it. But anyway, that doesn't matter. Leave comments down below. Good recommendation. All right, so 7:35, time to get a fire started. Just got back from shooting, and man, shooting an AK is a ton of fun. I just wish it was mine. Stay tuned for the video though. Oops. Using the pine fire. I don't even know if y'all will be able to see this. I think this is one of the mini tots. Using the pine fire still that glows in the dark. I just had it on the flashlight for a second, and yes, I was using the new Kizlyar Supreme for the striking that, so you can see it does have a good 90-degree spot for striking a fire steel. Just let that get started for just a second, and then we will heap on the little stuff. I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, you've been watching my videos, you've been seeing me use this for a while. So incredibly easy. In the beginning, you can throw on a bunch like this and it'll catch, and as it starts to burn pretty good, you'll have to keep throwing a little more to get that heat to drop down in between the logs below it. But I tell you, so incredibly easy. I have no reason to ever make another fire unless I'm in a survival situation where a TP fire is going to be faster and hotter, and so depending on the environment, the conditions, and all that kind of stuff. But if you can take your time and you got a chance to cut all this wood, yeah, no other reason to go with anything else. And you see how easy that was? Well, I mean, of course, I'm using pine fire. That is a huge plus. But if you can find fat wood in the woods, you can do the same thing. And even if not, if you're good at just doing the feather sticking and the shavings, once you get that first little bit of flame going, easy as pie to get going. Now, time to relax. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's about it for this trip. I have pretty much packed everything up except for the hammock and my chair, and I'm about ready to head out. Most of this up pretty well. Woke up at like 3:30 and was wide awake, so stayed up till about 5:30, then went back to bed. Just to have, well, I started to get cold, I think was the reason why I woke up. And then once I wake up, I'm up for good, but luckily I was able to go back to sleep about 5:30. So overall though, had an awesome time. Great hike yesterday, really good time shooting. Wish that that AK was mine and I got to keep it. But it is not, so it is going back. But stay tuned for the review on it. I'll tell you more about it then. And in the meantime, guys, be prepared, have fun, and get outdoors.